Yo guys, what's going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. In today's video, I want to talk about epic prize cards. That's going to be today's discussion point. The good, the bad, and the ugly about epic prize cards in Top Drives. Now the way that this video is going to pan out is that I'm going to start talking about the bad, then we move over to the ugly, and then we move over to the good. Because I see more value in ending the video on a high note than a low note. You know what I mean? So let's talk about epic prize cards, right? Now, if anything I say in this video resonates with you guys, let me know down in the comments below as well, because I'm gonna let you guys know right now, this is gonna be subjective, right? This is gonna be my personal opinion on what I feel about epic prize cards in Top Drives, and obviously I'm gonna be showcasing to you my personal epic collection of epic prize cards from my personal garage as well. So if you agree with any of the pros and cons that I mentioned in the video, feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and honestly, I recommend you guys to watch along with your epic prize cards as well, because we're gonna be asking ourselves a lot of hypothetical questions in today's video. So I'm going to start off with, my personal collection. I've got 60 epic prize cards in my garage, 23 of which are fully upgraded, and the remainder are, well, not fully upgraded. Now the remainder should be 37. I am using Blossom math, so I might be wrong by one or two cards. I might be off by one or two cards, but it should be 23 and 37. That adds up to 60, right? Maybe. Anyway, I'm a very simple guy, right? When it comes to Top Drives, I also have a very simple philosophy. If I fully upgrade a car, it means that I see value in it. I deem it as a valuable car. And the definition of valuable in Top Drives to me is replayability. Right? If I can use an epic over and over and over again over the course of a month, then I can see the value in the car. So a lot of these epics that I fully upgrade, usually they're the best in their niche, usually they are cash cows, and very rarely is because I simply like them. I think there's only one epic out of my fully upgraded epic prize cars, which is strictly a passion project, and that is going to be the Charger. Now, like I said, if I fully upgrade an epic, it means that I deem it as valuable. So if I don't fully upgrade an epic, it usually means that I deem it as invaluable. I see it as a car where I won't be using very often, and that 15 ultra investment is just not worth the payout, because the payout is never or very rarely going to come. So like I said, we're gonna start with the bad, we move over to the good, and then we get into move over to the ugly, and then we get over to the good. So let's start off with the bad. The 37 epic prize cards that I do not have fully upgraded. Now, I want to get the elephant out of the room, okay? The one anomaly. That is the MG Metro 6R4 Clubman. That's the only one where I do deem valuable, but I do not need to fully upgrade. And the main reason to why I have not fully upgraded the MG Metro is because, frankly, I don't need to. Since the MG Metro was released as a prize card, since it was awarded in the game, Hutch has not awarded another epic four-wheel drive off-roader that is similar or better than the MG Metro, which means that the MG Metro barely has any competition, right? And this is a unicorn car. Not a lot of players own the MG Metro. This was given out many years ago, like I think five, maybe more than 5 years ago. So not a lot of players own it. So I don't really need to fully upgrade it. Just having it at max handling brings me enough value as it is. It already fights, toe to toe with 1-star legend off-roaders, and it will beat every single 4-wheel drive off-road prize car that Hutch has released. Epic prize car, I think I said epic, yeah, emphasis on epic. It will beat every single epic 4-wheel drive off-road prize car Hutch has released since the MG Metro, right? It will beat things like the Skoda Afrique, or the Mitsubishi Pajero, or even the Mazda CX-50, or even the Ford F-150 Raptor R. For some reason, Hutch does not like to release 4-wheel drive off-road prize car epics that handle well. There are others, right? APGP was a year ago, and they brought a bunch of great Evos that look like they might have the potential of beating the MG, but they've not released any of those Evos, and I don't think they'll be releasing them anytime soon. It's almost like they know that these cars are kind of OP. But yeah, MG Metro aside, most of these other cars I deem as invaluable. And you can tell that I'm being a bit cutthroat about things because, well, the Challenger is here. I love the Challenger. But also, like I said, this is coming from my personal opinion, from my personal collection. And if you know, in my garage, I have like 12 fully upgraded Hellcats. I don't really need a 13th. I want to, but I just don't need to rush into it, right? So, okay, remember how earlier on I said, feel free to watch this video with your epic prize cars, in your garage as well. Like maybe watch with your phone or something something like that with your epic prize cards with top drives open, right? I'm going to ask two hypothetical questions, right? I'm going to ask myself, and you can ask yourself these questions as well. The first question I'm going to ask is, how many of these cars, non-fully upgraded epic prize cars, how many of them do you see yourself fully upgrading in a year's time, right? So me sitting here October 29, 2025, how many of these cars in my garage do I think I would have fully upgraded, okay? Out of the 37, only 8 of them I can kind of genuinely see myself fully upgrading in a year's time. The Ford F-150 Raptor, because the replayability on this car is pretty high, there are many events, usually pickup events that has a hill climb, where the Ford F-150 Raptor R is very useful in. The BMW M1 Pro car, because I'm literally upgrading it right now as we speak for the qualifiers. The Volvo 850, just because it's, it gets 100 handling as an estate, it has some niches to it. The AC and the Dodge, mainly because I love them, so I can see myself upgrading them out of, not pity, but I guess out of passion. The Lotus Motorsport, I would say these 3 are mostly passion project upgrades, and then the Skoda Freak and the MG Metro, because they are the better, or if not the best, the MG is the best, of the epic, 4-wheel drive off-road prize car niche, or just epic 4-wheel drive off-road in general. The MG is the best, right? So yeah, that's the first one, okay? So only 8, literally only 8 out of the initial 37 non-fully upgraded epics can I see myself fully upgrading in a year's time, which means that in a year's time I can see my garage, 29 of these fully upgraded epics will remain stocked in my garage in a year's time, which is crazy, because what really annoys me is that, epic prize cards is a double whammy, because usually if an epic is deemed, invaluable to me, I will use it as fuse material to fuse into a valuable legend that could win me a valuable legendary prize card, right? Makes sense. But I cannot fuse away these epic prize cars, because you don't know when you will get them again, and you don't know when you'll need to use them, and also because the community will bash you if you fuse away epic prize cars. I don't really care too much about that, but they will. If you ever tell anyone that you fuse away an epic prize car, they will never let you go. But we'll get to the ugly later. So hypothetically, in a year's time, I will have 29 epic prize cars sitting there collecting dust as they are now, right? Which is really annoying. So that's the next hypothetical question that I want to ask you guys, and I want to ask myself. If every single, let's say tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, you woke up and every single epic prize car in top drives lost that prize car status, how many cars would you fuse away? Right? So this is a question that I want to ask myself next, right? So we talked about the cars that I can see myself fully upgrading. So we're left with 29 out of the initial 37. If every single car that you see here on the screen, tomorrow was not a prize car anymore, and, it was free game, it was open season, you can unpack all of these cars, you can get duplicates of them, they can become fuse material, right? And no one will ridicule you for it. How many of these cars would I get rid of out of the 29? Well, the answer is I'll get rid of 22 of them. Right? So, there's 7 more cars where I feel like, although they will be stocked in a year's time, I will still want to keep them because I like them in some way, shape, or form. So let's look at the cars that stayed. The Challenger Drag, right? I don't think I'll be maxing this in a year's time, but unless it goes Ultra, but I won't be fusing it away either because it's a Dodge. Things like the Nissan or even the Bufori, because I have every single Bufori in the game that you can unpack right now, because I think that's like 1 or 2 Bufori prize cards that they haven't released yet. But I do want to collect every single Bufori as well. The Jaguar XJ220, very cool car. I want to keep it around, right? So the answer for me is that there are actually 22 epic prize cars where if tomorrow, if the prize card tag disappeared, I would fuse them away in an instant, right? And that's crazy, because 22 means that I can max 1 legend and I can almost 2-star a second legend. Like, and that's the really annoying thing about epic prize cars. It's like, I really want to fuse them away, but I don't. And why do I not fuse them away? Well, alright, here's the prime example. The Jaguar F-Type rally car. I hate this thing. I've owned it for 1,573 days. I won this car July the 9th, 2020, peak pandemic, more than 4 years ago, right? I've used it 129 times, which means that on average, I use this car 0.08 times a day. This thing is terrible. Ask yourself this. If you had any car in general, any car, especially Epic, all right? If you have any Epic car in your garage where you have only used it 129 times in over 4 years, where you have an average usage of 0.08, would you, if it wasn't a prize car, would you fuse it away? If you had a car like this in your garage where you use it 0.08 times a day and it wasn't a prize car, would you fuse it away if you had to? You would, right? I would. Unless you're one of those kind of players that want to collect everything for collecting everything. But I would, especially when the going gets tough and you don't have a lot of epic cars left to fuse and you are so close to winning a legend prize car, but you need to put one more, fuse into a legend that you already own. Of course you would fuse it away. Who wouldn't, right? So yeah, it's really annoying. But the thing is, right, and the other thing that annoys me about epic prize cards is that they're ineligible for tri-series and more often than not big prize events. Think about the 7th anniversary event. We couldn't use prize cards for the 7th anniversary event. So, prize cards are already nerfed in a sense where you can't use them to win more prize cards or more big prizes, right? But the thing is, that can always change because we're asking ourselves a lot of hypothetical questions, right? Like if tomorrow, if every epic prize card became a non-prize card, we can always also ask ourselves another hypothetical question. What if tomorrow Hutch decides to release an event that, gives out 5 legendaries to any players that owns like OG prize cards? Let's say that they wanted to award loyal players all of a sudden. And it's just like, oh yeah, here's a pack that where you can win like 5 legends from. And the only way that you can redeem it is if you own 1 Jaguar F-Type Rally, because obviously this will award a loyal player. If you own this card, it means that you won something 4 years ago, right? So that can always change, and that is why I'm scared. I'm playing out of fear, and we shouldn't be playing out of fear. It's a game. Why are we playing out of fear? It's just game. Well, you have to be mad. You know what I mean? But the reality is I am playing out of fear. And the only reason why I keep the Jag, the only reason why I keep these 22 trash epics is because I don't know when I'll get them again, and I don't know if one day Hutch just says, hey, you know what? We're gonna make an event where the only way you can join is if you own a Morgan +4, if you own a Ford Indigo, if you own a Mini Countryman, right? And the other thing, right? Now let's talk about the ugly, is that people will literally ridicule you if you fuse away an epic prize card. So here are 2 epic prize cards that I fused away many years ago. Maserati 250F, which used to be an epic. Okay, I didn't know it was going to go down to ultra rare. We've never seen, when I fused away the Maserati 250F, we never knew if we were ever going to see rebalancing ever again. And the Infinity Q60 as well, right? This was all before World Expo, right? Fuse those cards away many years ago. Literally until this year, 2024, there's still people ridiculing me because I fused away 2 epic prize cards, of which, by the way, they aren't even useful, right? The Maserati, okay, yeah, there were like 1 or 2 ceramic events where the Maserati 250F was useful in, and that was only because it became an ultra rare and people could fully upgrade it. Ask yourself this, like honestly, if the Maserati 250F remained an epic, would you fully upgrade it for any event? No, you fucking wouldn't, right? The only reason why it became useful and became a slight regret to me is because it went down in rarity. That's it. And then the Infinity Q60. Who the hell uses that, right? And even then, even though the Maserati has gone down to ultra rare, although it's one of the better ultra rares, it isn't even the best. Like, since the Maserati 250F, the game, Hutch has released the Alpha 159, the Lanza D50, as well as the Alpha Tipo 512, a lot of which are better than the Maserati 250F. Also, when it went down to ultra rare, so did the BMW M5, which is a better car to use. So I digress. Fuse both of them away, and literally 4 years later, until today, people still attack you for it. It's actually stupid, but like I said, that's not really the main concern to why I don't really fuse away things like the Jaguar or the Morgan. The main reason why I don't fuse them away is mainly because at any moment, at any point in time, Hutch can just say, oh yeah, we want you to use it now, and then I'll feel stupid if I fuse it away. But also at the same time, I feel stupid right here as I sit down, knowing that these cars are locked in my garage because they're never going to be useful for me. Seriously, like the Jag has been sitting in my garage for 4 years, and I've barely used it 0.08 times a day. It's such a waste. I could be putting this into a legend. Literally, like it's terrible. And I know that this isn't gonna win me any prize card in the future, right? Because usually they're not eligible. But like I said, that can always change. I'm playing the game out of fear. So that's the bad, that's the ugly. But let's talk about the good, okay? Because I think it's always important that we end the video on a high note. So let's talk about the epic prize cards that I fully upgraded, okay? The ones that I see valuable. Let's talk about my top 10 epic prize cards, the ones that I use the most. So we're gonna start with 10, we move down to number 1. The 10th most used epic prize card that I have is the Ram 1500 TRX. I use this card on average 1.17 times a day. Now, moving on to 9th place, and there is gonna be a correlation to things here, okay? Citroen C Elise. I use this 1.48 times a day, all right? Slick tires. First one is off-road, this is slick tires. Now, moving on to 8th place is the Nissan Primera, another front-wheel drive with slick tires, 1.52 times I use it per day, right? So this is the 8th most used epic prize card that I have on average. Now moving on, in 7th place is the Ram Rebel TRX. So again, you know, these are the more useful epic prize cards in my garage that I have fully upgraded. Let me know down in the comments below if, you know, we have any similarities. I'm sure a lot of my most useful epic prize cards are probably some of your most useful epic prize cards as well. So the Ram Rebel TRX, I use this on average 1.74 times a day. Moving on, in 6th place, our first performance tire entry is a pretty new one as well. It's the Audi Auto Union, the Type C Streamliner. I use it on average 1.84 times a day, and it comes in 6th place. Very good car. I don't care if it's a 65 as long as I can get replayability and usage out of it. This thing is fantastic. I use it in dailies. I use it in any event that has a test bowl, in any kind of like pre-80s event. It's going to be bloody useful, and it saves you a lot of RQ against legends as well. Now moving on to 5th place, it's another performance tire car. It's the Charger SRT Hellcat Red Eye. I use it on average 2.2 times a day, or 2.02 times a day, and it comes in starting off our top 5. Now moving on, in 4th place, another slick tire car, the Audi RS3 LMS TCR. I use this on average 2.42 times a day. And in 3rd place is another slick tire front wheel drive car, the Renault Sport Laguna Super Touring. That is the 4th slick tire front wheel drive car we've seen in my top 10. And like I said, it's all down to why I fully upgrade these epics. It's because I see value in them, and value to me in top drives is replayability. What shows up in clubs all the damn time? Front wheel drive 5 times. And you can see that I really use these cars a lot. They make me a lot of money, right? And that's why I feel no remorse in fully upgrading these cars. I use this on average 2.45 times a day, and it wraps up my 3rd place. Now moving on to the top 2, we start with the Ford Bronco R off-road tires. I use this on average 2.56 times a day. And last but not least, number 1, can you guess it? Can you guess it? Okay, 3, 2, 1. There you go. My most used epic prize car is the Porsche Cayman GT4 Club Sport RGT. I use it on average 2.92 times a day, and it wraps up my 1st place. And as you can see, out of the top 10 most used epic prize cars that I own, 4 of them that I use, 4 of them are slick, and 4 of them are off-road. Usually these kind of niche cars are the most useful ones. So if you want to see the entire list, here you go. My most used one is the Porsche. I've owned it for 543 days. I've used it 1,587 times, and it's an 87% win ratio, and it goes all the way down. So my least used epic prize car is the RQ78 BMW M4 GTS, and that was mainly because for the first like 3 years of its lifespan, it was a legendary, and I didn't use it then because it was a useless RQ80. But then I started using it more when it became an epic, and I could fully upgrade it. BMW M3 GTS, I use it a lot, right? 1,146 races, but I've also owned it for a very, very long time. It's the first epic prize car. It's the first prize car I ever won in my garage. So here's the entire list. As you can see, towards the top are the ones that I use in clubs all the time. Usually they're specialists, whether they have slick tires or off-road tires. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. I think it's a pretty long video, so I hope you stayed around all the way to the end. But that's my personal opinion on just, you know, epic prize cars, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let me know down in the comments below if you agreed with me or not, if you share the same sentiments or not. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys have a great day. This was a long video, man. It took me like 8 tries to re-record this video. I do not know why. Maybe I'm just not as good as recording videos as I used to be. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys have a great day. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too. Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville
Pontiac.
Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks. Pin up girls everywhere with the drop dead look. Swing it side to side